So Alan Gagloyev, the opposition party, Nikos, they call it the opposition party, but Alan Gagloyev came in first. He came in first place in the runoff election in South Ossetia. South Ossetia's president under, the Russian occupation, whatever all that shit is. But Anatoly Bibilov is the current incumbent president of South Ossetia. Anatoly Bibilov, he's sitting there saying that it's all about getting South Ossetia up into Putin's ass. So Bibilov is already a right-wing stooge of Russia, and he's going to get beat by an ex-KGB agent. So you got a KGB agent on one side who won. He got 39%, and the president only got 34%. So we're going to find out in 1 week, April 24th, in 7 days, what's going to happen in South Ossetia's election. That's the same day as the French runoff election. So the French runoff election is between the right-wing Le Pen, right, the pro-Putin, anti-immigrant Le Pen, and neoliberalism. So, they're sick of Macron, his neoliberal fucking ways. But that's what? Capitalism and democracy? That's kind of the end of history, right? Everybody's capitalist and fucking democracy. So anyways, neoliberalism versus the right-wing Le Pen. We're going to find that out April 24th on France. That same day, we're going to find out the conclusions of South Ossetia's presidential election as well. Now, South Ossetia had broke away from Georgia in the early 1990s. Georgia attempted to retake the territory militarily in 2008. Russia invaded Georgia. In response, following that war, Moscow, those Muscovite motherfuckers, formally recognized South Ossetia. The U.S. Embassy in Georgia states that the United States does not recognize the South Ossetians and their so-called presidential election in Tiskhin-Valley, which I guess is the capital of South Ossetia. Where are you going? South Ossetia? No, I'm going to Tiskhin-Valley. Oh, yeah. So, opposition party, Nikos party, Alan Gagloyev. He came in first of South Ossetia's presidential election, beat the vote count of incoming president Anatoly Bibilov. On Sunday night, state-run news agency RES reported that 95% of the ballots had been counted. Gagloyev had received 37%. Bibilov trailed 33%. So it's a difference of 11,000 versus 9,700. So only a difference of goddamn 1,000 votes. 1,000 votes difference between the two. So it's going to be a nail-biter. There's no clear winners. I would say that Gagloyev he could still be the underdog, because who the fuck is he? Where the fuck did he come from? But Bibilov almost, he's got 1 foot out the door. Bibilov has 1 foot out the door. So this is going to be for the South Ossetians that's paying attention to this stuff, that recognize the Kremlin-backed government. The April 24th runoff election will be exciting. Now, I've already mentioned this before, but both candidates are goddamn Russian stooges. So there's not a single candidate that says, okay, in the French election, you have one person that's all about Putin, and then you got somebody that, that's against Putin. So Macron's against Putin, Le Pen is for Putin. In South Ossetia, you got one for Putin, and then you got one that really is for Putin. So that's it. You only got basically a right-wing pro-Kremlin stooge is going to win. Now, that being said, I've read statements about the current president of South Ossetia. I haven't read anything about this, contender, this opposition leader at all. I just know he was an ex-KGB agent, so that means he worked for Russia's CIA agency, but he might have a unique perspective. Perhaps he likes Russia, but he wants Russia to respect South Ossetia's independence. So, no, we don't want to be just a part of, your Russian Federation, but we are our own people. Maybe there's some, stronger nationalism, and perhaps he'll bump up against, Russia more than the current president. In general, I like the overturn of power. I'm against the incumbent. 95% of the time, the damn incumbent wins. So I want, just from a gut check perspective, I want Alan Gagloyev to win. The people like him better. 1,000 more people voted for him over that Bibilov. So I want this Alan Gagloyev guy to win. So he's a KGB agent. In 2017, he was a KGB agent, this Alan Gagloyev. And then the guy, this big Bibilov is just a big fucking Putin guy. So you don't have real oppositional choice. In France, there's an actual choice. If you want war with, Russia, if you want to defend Ukraine, you're going to vote for Macron. If you want Putin to do whatever the fuck he wants to do, you're going to vote for Le Pen. If you want Ukraine to have their own independence, if you live in South Ossetia and you want to be a Georgian, you want to be a part of the nation, the bigger nation of Georgia, you don't have a candidate. You do not have a candidate. So really you just got two pro-Putin candidates and, whatever differences are between those two. So, from my American perspective, that's all I am kind of seeing. But I wonder, if you really break it down, maybe getting that ex-KGB agent would be best for South Ossetia and, maybe good for Russia, maybe not good for Russia, but ultimately that's what the elections are for. If there's a high turnout rate, then the international observers, the U.S. can, tisk all they want. But if 90% of the people of South Ossetia go out into this election and vote in this election, then you can't complain about it. That's the people, the will of the people. They're voting in the election. You want to say, it's an occupation. That might be better in some respects. The referendum will not be a complication. It will show the world that we are with Russia. This is Bibilov. So Bibilov is saying, look, we're going to have a referendum. We're going to become part of Russia. It's cool, baby. It's all gravy, baby. Even more so now when many countries, including great powers, are turning their backs on us. Bibilov explained. Bibilov, who's running for re-election, South Ossetia, he said that there's many nations that Moscow has helped since the times of the Russian Empire. And we're all alive thanks to Russia. Thanks be to Russia. Thank you, dear Mother Lord, for Russia. When Russia's in trouble, all of us become Russians and we go and defend our great country. Wait, I thought you were saying Russia defended you. The separatist leader recently visited the besieged Ukrainian city of Mariupol. What the fuck is Bibilov doing in Mariupol? South Ossetian volunteers are on the pro-Russian side. Oh, fucking awesome. So this fucking Bibilov is sitting there trying, doing the genocide leveling. They killed 20,000 people in Mariupol. And the president of South Ossetia is there either getting, fucking information or maybe he's doing the shooting. Going to kill those Ukrainian fascists. That's what he says. So Bibilov is a fucking Putin. He's up Putin's butt. You can't even tell where Putin begins and Bibilov ends. The West does not understand that the more pressures puts pressure on Russia, the more united we are. They're used to bending to the will of other countries. It will not happen with us. We will not give up. The more sanctions we have, the stronger we will be. The presidential elections were held in full accordance with the current legislation, in accordance with the Constitution. So it's legal according to the South Ossetian law. The electoral process was held at a high level, so the possibility of electoral fraud is reduced to a minimum. They're both pro-Kremlin, so it probably will be a fair election, right? Just let the people vote for who they think is best and then count whoever wins the majority of the votes, whoever goes past the post, whoever has over 50% of the support of the South Ossetian voters becomes the president. In Virginia, the primary is only 10-20% turnout rate, so these other nations around the world, they seem to have a higher standard of democracy that they got to adhere to than the states in the United States do. The foreign ministries of the Czech Republic, Azerbaijan, Germany, Latvia, Lithuania. Who cares about Latvia, right? Tim Dillon, am I right? Tim Dillon, you know what I'm talking. Fuck Latvia, right? Those Latvians. Wasn't that Laka? Wasn't Laka from Latvia? Lithuania, Ukraine, Poland, Slovakia, the United States, Georgia expressed their full support for the so-called sovereignty, territorial integrity of Georgia, stated they didn't recognize the presidential elections in South Ossetia, considered their results illegitimate, illegal, without legal force. The electoral rights of citizens were ensured with a high turnout of voters, getting over 50%. I mean, if they get somebody that gets over 50% of the people, I want to say, what, 20 to 30% of the people in the Democratic primary in Virginia. And Terry McAuliffe is going to fucking lose because of that. They didn't have a fair primary. They didn't have an actual election where they, asked the people what they wanted and actually gave the people an option. Instead, they were kind of like, what, you going to vote for the other guy? What's the matter with you, huh? So if they are able to find a candidate with over 50%, I mean, the runoff election is South Ossetia's democracy is better than Virginia's democracy there. I'll just say it. South Ossetia is a sovereign democratic state. I don't know how long their independent movement has been going on, but there is a government there, and they're the de facto rulers. So I'm not for sure if the U.S. is planning on toppling this regime anytime soon, because they've been running shit for 14 years. President Bibilov considered that a runoff more South Ossetia election's coming up.